Hey guys, Shanna Cramer here with Creatively Uncorked. Welcome to Saturday night's live paint along. We have the Milky Way is going to be our painting of the night. And I know a lot of you picked up your kits for this already. If you picked up your kits, you have all of your supplies already in front of you probably. The only things you need extra would be a glass of water, paper plate, and some sort of a towel, paper towel, or I've used this old dish towel, and brushes. If you ordered brushes, you probably have something similar to this old bristle brush, probably something similar to this, a filbert, and you probably got a sea sponge. And if you didn't get brushes, then those are the materials that you're kind of looking for, or something that you'd like to have. We have this nice textured background that we'll want to add, and that is what this brush is going to be for. We can just do some tapping on there. Or that's what we also have this sea sponge for. And the sea sponge, we can just do some tapping on there. So welcome everybody who's coming in now. Be sure to say hi to your new friends. Let us know you're here. Hey guys. All right, looks like we're getting some people here. Okay, great. All right, so anyway, like I said, I'm Shanna, and I will be your artist for this Milky Way painting today. I was just going through the the instructions that came with the art kit, and let's just say that this video will be your new instructions now. If you have the supplies that we sent you, you've got black, yellow, turquoise, purple, white, blue. And if you want to follow along with your own supplies, you can use any of these colors or any of your own colors. This one really doesn't matter. We have so many colors in here that it's just going to look great no matter what you decide to do with it. So I'll give you a few pro tips though as we go along. Like number one pro tip, if you have a sea sponge and you plan on using it, first thing you want to do is just dunk that in your water. Just go ahead and soak that in the water, squeeze it out, and then set it aside. So that way we don't have to stick our hands in dirty paint water later. That'll help us out a lot. So that's gonna be step number one. Then all of these colors I don't need right now, so I'll just set these aside. Really the only color that we're going to be using is black. Guess what the first step is? Yep, we are going to paint our entire canvas black. Hey Cody. All right, first thing you want to do, and we're dealing with acrylic paint here. If you got your paint from Creatively Uncorked, you're dealing with acrylic as well. The kind that we use is non-toxic. So if you accidentally drink your paint water, it's probably not going to kill you. And since it is Saturday night, I would expect that several of you probably have some sort of a cocktail. Well, I have water, but I'm going to pretend. So set your cocktail somewhere maybe, conveniently located right next to your paint water where it's safe. Okay, so when we get to painting our background, just go ahead and dunk your brush in the paint and just go ahead and cover your whole background. I think I'm gonna have to do 2 layers on this one. Yep, just to make sure the paint sticks. So how are you guys doing on your Saturday night? Just based on some conversations I've had with people coming in to get their art kits, I know some of you are on your 3rd week of isolation. That's crazy. But I mean, you do a 2-week voluntary isolation, right? And then Minnesota all of a sudden says, guess what, guys? 2 more weeks. Everybody has to stay at home. So this would be week number 3 then for a lot of those people. And the rest of Minnesotans, this is kind of like day 2, right? So here's some day 2 entertainment for you. And there's my entire background black. If you have a lot of black paint and a lot of patience and you feel like also painting your edges, by all means, feel free. You can go right on ahead and do that. Do save some of your black though, because we have these trees to add later. We'll be coming in and adding these little hills, and then we'll be adding our trees. So make sure you save enough a little bit left for that, and we'll be good to go. So I'm just gonna put my brush back in the water and let my background dry. Hey Bree. Is it Bree? Am I saying that right? And you've popped in for a few of the paint-alongs now. So are you getting your paint stuff out this time and painting along? I mean, if you don't, you can always rewatch the video later. It's fine. We're going to be saving these videos in the Facebook group for a while, so not a big deal. You can pick up your kits, and the kits for any of these are going to be available on our website, creativelyuncorked.com, under Art Kits to Go. So you can pick up a kit later and follow along with these videos later on. I know. Hey, good deal. Oh, you guys, post your pictures. I want to see progress pictures. Finished pictures, of course, too. Can't wait to see what you guys do. These lives are my favorite thing now. We don't get to do studio events anymore, so the live events are my favorite because I still get to talk to people, still get to do painting, still paint with you guys. So, what's the best part of your day? Leave a comment. And so I was just saying, so we can't do our in-studio events anymore. So we were, originally told no studio events through the end of March, and then it was through April 6th, and now it's through Easter. So we're just keep going on week by week and canceling all of our public events. Well, postpone really. I mean, we try to postpone everything and do it later. A lot of stuff is seasonal, and by the time it gets postponed, well, those Easter paintings aren't gonna mean anything anymore. Well, hey Patsy, welcome back. Good to see you again. So here's what we have coming up on our calendar. I'll just do it this way because it's easier than paper, I think. So Monday we have the blue flowers, and I know a lot of people are going to have signed up already for that one, including someone in Arizona. I sent a kit to Arizona for that. Blowing in the Wind, that'll be next Thursday. Good, I'm glad you like them too, Bray. Is it Bray? Am I saying that right? Is it Bree? Let me know, because I feel like I'm always saying it wrong. And then we have this Boho Feather, and now this one will be interesting because I think we're all going to have a little bit different size canvases for that. I'm going to try to stick with, for when I do the lives, I'm going to try to stick with this 9x12 size, just because it fits on my camera. But I think you guys are going to have a little bit bigger canvases than I will. Then we have the Boho Bull. This one is either called the Boho Bull or Scully Bouquet. I couldn't decide when it was new. I couldn't decide what to call it, so I just ended up calling it both things. So that was dumb. But anyway, either name. And then we have the Cheshire Cat, which this is going to be a nice messy one. It's almost a watercolor style with its like nice free sort of messy paint. So that one I'm looking forward to. But if you do this one in your own house, you want to probably put some plastic under your easel, just like a garbage bag or something, just to keep it from dripping, because it's going to be messy. There's no way around it. So I've got the Rise and Shine Rooster now on the 20th. And we have Van Gogh Cypress then on the 27th. Let's see. Yeah, so I still have a couple of Thursdays to fill in. But yeah, that's kind of the schedule now for the next month for the lives. How's our backgrounds? I know mine's not even anywhere near dry yet. That's okay. We'll give that a few minutes. So other news. So we've been doing these art kits to go, right? Of course, you all know about those. A couple of new things this week with the art kits. One of them is we have this as seen on Facebook as an option. So what happens when you do the as seen on Facebook, if you go to our main Facebook page, just Creatively Uncorked, and on that page we have, I've been posting some different art kits, and these are kind of one-off kits. They're not something that we can repeatedly make just because they're using supplies that we have around the studio. So we're just kind of gathering them together into art kit format and then posting them on the Facebook page. So they're kind of one-offs. So if you go to the as seen on Facebook, and then when you get into the checkout a little bit further, there's a notes section. So you can just put in the notes which specific art kit that you're looking for and what colors you want and everything like that. And we've only got a few up there right now. We have a few ceramics, we have a few wood signs, some mini wood signs. And I'm trying to think of what else. Oh, watercolor. We started adding watercolor for kids today. So if you order a kid's watercolor kit, you'll get the watercolors themselves, and everything is going to be used. That's just the way it is. So you get the watercolors, you get a brush, and then you get 10 watercolor pages that are already pre-sketched. So that's going to be for the kids. And those are going to be available Well, they're available now if you just go to the As Seen on Facebook, you can order that. So other new options, you probably saw this, right? Do you need a bottle of wine? We can give you wine now with your art kits. So we can either deliver it as long as we see your ID, or we can also give it to you when you pick it up. So you can get a bottle of wine, you can get 2 bottles of wine, decently priced here, really good deal. So we're just gonna get some stuff out the door. So that's what we have going on with our art kits. And I'm super excited about it. Yep, and these are just the one-off kits, so we don't have to add a whole new page to the website or anything, and we can't just add them as a product, because what if 12 people order and we only have 1 left? So that's why we're doing it this way. And if you ever aren't really sure if we have what the kit that you want, just send us a message on Facebook or give us a call. We'll be able to tell you. Hi, Kristen. I wish mimosas to go. Wouldn't that be the thing? But if you have your own orange juice, I can get you a bottle of Brut to go with it. And we've had, oh, so somebody was asking, and let's see if I can remember who was, well, a lot of people have been asking for videos, like recorded videos for some of the classes, and I'm working really hard on it. I'm trying to get all the videos uploaded as fast as I can, which it's a very slow process because they all have to be recorded, edited, uploaded, and so on. So it's a bit of a process. Takes a little bit of time. And this week already I've uploaded 4 videos. That's in addition to these 3 lives. And those are going to be video instructions, something. So when we send out the art kits, if we have a video for it, we'll include a link in there to the video instructions. So where are those instructions going to be? If you purchase an art kit, we'll put the link right in the art kit. If you do not want to purchase an art kit and you just want to do the live videos and you want to use your own supplies, well, this is what we've got for an option for you. Get my iPad cover under control here. All right, so we're posting our videos to Patreon. Probably you've heard of it, just patreon.com, and then /Creatively Uncorked. So that's where we're at. And this is going to be super easy. I'm trying to set this up the best way I know how. If you guys have better suggestions, I do want to hear them. I really do. So the basic, the $3 a month is like, you know, you get on the email list and you get early release of YouTube videos. And those are YouTube videos. They're going to be there anyway. But then we have the Creatively Acrylic, which I think most people are probably going to be interested in. It's just our acrylic paintings from Creatively Uncorked. I'm getting the library online. I'm doing an okay job so far. I'm really hoping to keep up this pace. But that's just $14 a month. You don't get any supplies with that. You get the videos, you get like a traceable, you get the written instructions, which may or may not conflict with the video. I make no promises. It'll get better as we go, though, I know that. So, and you'll have any downloads that might need to go with it. So then we have the Creatively Watercolor and Crafts, and this is all of our watercolor paintings. I'm getting those online. Any of the extra crafts that we do. So that's where that's going to be. So these are 2 separate tiers, just in case you only want one and not the other. And then we have the Creatively VIP, which you get everything. You get all of it. So if you want to do wood signs, you want the SVG downloads, I mean, whatever you want, that's all going to be in the VIP. Very, very, very good deal. 24 bucks a month. It's a steal. So if you're interested in any of that, oh yeah, and I'll show you the videos we've uploaded lately. Like I said, I've been busy this week. So this is the most recent, Enchanted Dragonfly, and Digitree, Daisy Blues, Copper Trees. These I've uploaded all this week. And I'm right now working on the Summer Truck, and that one will be uploaded tomorrow. And then we've got some watercolors. More watercolors, bringing home the tree. So keep adding to it every day. So if that's something you want to check out, go right on ahead. If you have your own supplies, that's something that you can do. Although if you would rather pick up a kit when you sign up for one of these online events, by all means, do that. That's fine. And I know people have asked too if we're going to keep doing the kits once we can get back to normal. I certainly hope so. I think the kits are going pretty well. I don't mind doing it. I mean, I really like doing some of these lives, and I like recording the videos. So yeah, I don't see any reason not to keep doing that. Yeah, Patsy, right? I've looked at videos from YouTube too, and I've tried following along with some of them, and I'm kind of bad about it, but I'd rather record them, right? But that's okay. I think that's just kind of the way everything is going to have to be these days, or at least in the near future. Can't even really go outside. So yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to get outside because today was just a beautiful day. And then with the lockdown in Minnesota, and I am in Moorhead, so I'm on the Minnesota side. So how do you get outside? Well, they say you can go outside if you're running. So I guess I have to start running now if I want to go outside. I know, end of the world, right? So there's that. Or you can go check on elderly relatives or pets that are someplace else. So that's kind of the rule. I think you can still go to grocery shopping and pick up some basics. But what we can do to help you out if you're on the Moorhead side is we can do home deliveries. If you order a kit, we can deliver it to your house. And let's see here. Not dry yet. That's okay. We'll just let this one dry a little bit longer. I suppose if you guys have bigger canvases, yours are probably not dry at all yet. Let me know. Let me know how dry your canvases are, because I don't want to push you on to the next step until you're ready. Patsy, what are your favorite things to paint? I know you've joined us for several of the lives, but what are your favorite subjects and things to paint? I know we've had requests for sunflowers. I can't remember if that was you, Patsy, that asked for sunflowers, but that will be on the list. That'll probably be on one of the Thursdays. Well, that's the way to do it. If you use a canvas that's already black, that's definitely the way to do it. So you have that much more extra time for kicking back and I don't know, maybe having a glass of wine. I'm not sure. I mean, it's Saturday. How many people are painting along? Give me a thumbs up if you're painting along so I know you're out there. So I know how many people I'm waiting to, or I'm painting with. Just because I don't want to rush anybody if you're not ready. So you guys are using black canvases too, huh? I suppose if you had the instructions already, you knew the canvas was going to be black to start out with. Okay, is there anybody who would like me to wait a little bit longer before moving on to the next step? Just let me know. So what are you guys doing to get out of the house? Do you go, do you have like dogs that you can go take for walks, or kids you can take for walks? Interested in the ostrich? Yes. The ostrich is going to be a challenging one. That's it's a little bit more challenging just because of all the different fur and the different, or not fur, I guess it's feathers and shading. But yes, we can do the ostrich. Awesome. Yeah, work. Yeah. Hey, kids, if you can take the kids out for a walk, that's nice too. I don't want to be like paranoid or anything, but okay, so I scroll through Facebook once in a while and I read the things that people are saying and I get a little concerned. For example, just the other night I was reading Facebook and you know, I'm friends with a lot of different people on Facebook and extreme variety of opinions. So one lady was just ranting about how this is crazy, that we have to be locked down and hardly anybody is sick and we should just be able to have business as usual, and just, you know, angry about having to care about other people getting sick generally. And then, so that's one extreme. And then another extreme, there's a lady who, poor thing, is looking out her window and seeing 4 people on the sidewalk that are walking entirely too close together, not at all observing the 6-foot rule. And and there's just, it's like extremes, you know, and I know it's kind of a polarizing time, but you know, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to get anybody sick, and I don't want anybody getting sick, and I want to do my part to help people from getting sick, you know, because it's not like it's just one person that's going to get sick. It spreads. It's contagious. So I just want to do what I can to make sure everyone stays healthy. Whoop, darn it. See, that's what happens when you get splash water in there. There, fill it in. Okay. Onwards. Let's get to the background. So this is what we have kind of for our Milky Way. So when we start working on our Milky Way, we'll start on the outside in. We'll start on both outsides in. And if you take a look at kind of the general shape, just kind of keep that shape in mind, you know, as you're working your way in, to kind of end with that sort of an S curve at the end. And I think that's, just from what I've seen people painting in the studio, I feel like that's kind of a tough one to keep in mind. So if you can remember that somehow, and I don't know if it would help to actually do like a dot of some color down the center to be able to help remember that. So I'll set my black aside now. And then just get out some of my other colors. We're going kind of dark to light as a general rule. So I'll take out my blues, my purples, my turquoises, and then I'll leave actually I'm gonna take out my white too. With the white, I'm going to just grab a little bit of it and put it right down on my plate. There. I'll show you why. So this, with a black background, you have to kind of handle your paint a little bit differently to make sure that it shows up on the background. So these colors are all slightly opaque colors, so that means they have a little bit of a body to them to cover up the background, but not a lot. And yellow just never is going to cover up a background. So then we have just this little tiny bit of white that we can mix in with our colors to make it cover the black. Okay, so dry brush. Make sure you rinse out your brush, dry it off on your towel. Oh, 3 weeks. Oh my gosh. Oh, yes, play outside, but wash your hands. Really, like, just use common sense. I don't think we all need to be such extreme lockdown, but common sense, really, very much so. And thank you, Krista. I'm glad you're here, and I hope it does relieve some stress. And also, grab a glass of wine if that helps too. It's Saturday night. We're just gonna have fun and have some chit chat. So we're going to take either, and I'm going to give you the option. I'm actually going to try both so you can see what's going to happen. So I'm going to take my big bristle brush first, and I'll start on the outside with some purple. So I'm just taking a dab of purple, boop, and just tap that on the plate. Okay, and I'm just going to take a little tiny touch of white, just kind of tap that into the purple. So you see what I'm tapping? I'm tapping lightly. I'm not mushing it into the bristles. It's just right on the ends of the bristles. And then I'll go to the edge, and I'll try to hold my brush so you can see it, and I'm just tap, 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 just little taps. Okay, now this will dry more transparent, so this will dry darker, so it looks really bright right now, but that will dry darker. Take a little more of that purple, again, just tapping it into the background, and we're not filling this in solid. This is our Milky Way stars. The black behind it, that's our space, so we're going to want to leave some space. Not very much. Milky Way is a lot of stars. So I have a more dense purple on the outside edge, and it kind of thins out as we go toward the center. Okay, but I am bringing it further over than it should go. So just reference photo here again. So I am coming about this far in, okay? But I'm going to layer my colors. Okay, and then a little more of that purple on the right-hand side. So what are you doing for 3 weeks with kids in the house? I mean, I know there's a little bit of homeschooling, I'm sure, going on, which I imagine that's going to be a challenge too. How old are your kids? 3 weeks in the house. Some more gentle taps on the right hand side with that little bit of purple. So if you're using your own paint and you wanted to add a little bit of warmer color in here, if you wanted to add any oranges or reds, you could do that way out here as well. We're just going to stick with our purples, or I'm going to stick with my purple. Just little taps. Maybe just a little bit more purple. And kind of tap straight on if you can. All right, and then just to show you the difference for my next color, I'll use that sea sponge. So just dropping my brush there into the water, and then I'm taking my sea sponge. And you have a lot of different sides and corners and shapes that you can get out of this. So you just pick the one that you think is going to get you the best results and go for it. You might be wrong. You just turn it and try a different side. So just a little bit of paint, just like with the bristle brush. And just a little tap. See, now this seems to be a lot easier already. Yeah, I'm kind of liking the sponge better. Just little taps. Again, I'm kind of keeping my S curve in mind. So I'm coming out a little further on the bottom. Stay in a little bit more on the top. And see how I'm overlapping a little bit of color? And my hill's gonna come way down here, so you can go ahead and fill in at least down that far. And I'll do a little bit of blue on the right side too. Going a little bit wider on the top. And if you rotate your sponge, you'll get a little less random, or a little more random of a pattern. There. And this, so far, the colors are staying pretty clean, so you should be able to have the leftovers to use for another painting later. Out of curiosity, is there anybody painting with us tonight that hasn't painted with us in the studio? I kind of felt like there were a lot of people that were going to, just from earlier questions, but I'm really curious how many people are just painting with Creatively Uncorked for the first time online. So the kids at home are doing homeschool, games, dance parties, reading corner, and screen time. Yeah, well, that's good. I mean, that's keeping them busy. Kind of the name of the game, right? At this point, is just keeping them busy. I mean, if you can give them an education while you're doing it. Okay, I've got my purples, my blues onto the greens or the turquoise. So I'm just kind of blending from blue to green, and then I'll go to my yellows. And you can see now that my blues and purples, as they dry, they're really fading into the background. So the only ones that are going to continue to show up pretty powerfully are the ones that were mixed with white. So even these turquoises are going to fade back a little bit. And I'm overlapping kind of a lot of the blue, but still the purple, blue, and green distinction is still there. You can still see all of the colors, but it's not necessarily stripes of colors. They're all kind of blended. So all of my different colors are showing. Oh, yeah. Well, welcome, Angie. I'm glad you get to paint with us now. If you ever get a chance to paint with us in the studio, I hope you do that too. But, you know, in the meantime, I'm pretty much liking these live paint-alongs. So I'm glad you're here. There we go. That's looking pretty good. So here's another trick I'll show you once we're going to let this just dry momentarily. And I'll put these paints away because something that I kind of always stress is don't combine your warms with your cools. And in some cases you can get away with it, but if you're not familiar with every color and how it goes together, you know, you might end up with an unexpected result. So one thing that I do like to do is I'll get all my cool colors on there, my purples, blues, greens, then switch to the warm colors. In this case is pretty much just yellow and white. And we kind of do it in this order because, you know, purple and blue look fine together, green and blue look fine together, green and yellow look fine together. So that's kind of the reason that we go in this order. It's not really because Milky Ways look like that. It's because paint works like that. So I'll just dab the excess paint out of my sponge. Oh, and pro tip on taking care of your sponge, you can keep the sponge and reuse it for other paintings, but you treat it just like you do a paintbrush. So when you're done with this, put it in your water instead of letting it dry out. So just toss it in your water cup, just like you do with your brushes. You just you put your brushes in your water cup so they don't dry out. Do the same with your sponge. And then at the end, when you go to clean your brushes after you're done painting, you kind of do the same with a sponge. Sponges are almost easier to clean. They just take a little bit longer. You just hold them under water and you just squeeze them until the water runs clear. Okay, and you can see on some of these, like mine was already kind of painty. Somebody didn't do that last time they used it, so that's why they have some paint on them. The good news is they still work fine. So, but that's how you clean out your sponge. So just dabbing the extra color out of there, so you're not washing it while you're using it because it'll get too wet. So you just dab the color out. All right, to my yellow. And that is looking pretty green. So I guess I'm gonna try this and see what happens. So I probably took it off screen, but here's what I'm doing. I'm just dunking in the water. Squeeze. If you have a towel available, I'm just gonna wrap mine up in my towel, kind of dry it out a little. I'll see if this helps take some of the green out of it. If it doesn't, then you just rotate your sponge to a different corner, and then you'd use a different part of the sponge. All right. So I'm taking that yellow, and I also want a tiny dab of white in that yellow. Because like I said earlier, yellow is not going to be transparent ever. So if you want your yellow to show up, you have to mix it with white. All right, so there I've got little white, little yellow. And this one, I'll just keep dabbing it and rotating it. And this is going to be getting to my brightest spot. So the yellow is coming almost all the way to the center. Oh. There we are. And just a reminder what the original looks like. So I'm kind of bringing it all the way into the center, and again, keeping my S-curve in mind. And this one, if you come all the way down to the bottom, that's fine. When we make our hill, black will cover this easily. So if we go too far with our sky, we can cover it with our black. Okay, just don't go too dense with the paint. I've got some nice yellow. Now I'm just dabbing the excess paint out on the towel again. So that's looking pretty all right. And my last color that I'll add will be white. And the white goes closest to the center. And it can kind of spread out a little bit, but your bright impact area is going to be toward the center. Every painting should have a focal point, should have something that attracts your attention. A star of the show. In this case, we have a lot of stars of the show, right? That is not too bad. So one thing I know when I painted the original way back when, I did come back in the center and I kind of painted over a little bit of that center area because I had a big white glob right up. I had one big white stripe right up the center. So I came back and kind of separated that a little bit with some blues and some turquoises, just kind of right in the middle. So if that's something that you want to do, you certainly can. Mine is looking okay now. I think the sponge would be pretty tough to go back to blues and greens with at this point. But if you still have your bristle brush, and even if you ordered new brushes with your kit, we would have also sent you one of these old bristle brushes because these are perfect. It's really hard to find new brushes that work as well as these do for this type of a technique. Yeah, and I don't want to go too much on this because I think mine's got a pretty good, well, I don't mind the shape that it is right now, so. There, just a couple of gentle taps. And then stop. Really easy to overwork a painting. If ever you have the question, should I stop? The answer is always yes. Okay, we'll put the cap back on that. And if you want to do any details, any touch-ups to your sky right now, you can go ahead. Otherwise, we're going to take a break, let this dry. Putting my sponge into the glass of water so the sponge doesn't dry out. Don't want the brushes to dry out either. We don't want our paint to dry on our brushes because that will ruin them. If you're at the studio, we'd have you do a brush pledge so that you will not let paint dry on your brush. So we just leave the brushes in the water till we're done painting, and then we'll go clean the brushes. And to clean the brushes, rinse them really well under water and then clean them with soap. And if you don't have brush soap, Dawn dish soap works really well, or shampoo, or Castile soap, or just whatever you have laying around the house is going to be just fine. Okay, so this is our break time. We're going to let this dry. Go ahead and grab yourself another cocktail, or take a bathroom break if you like. Get some new clean water if you like, although you don't really need to because we're just painting black after this, so it won't really matter. Okay, so how many of you are on the Moorhead side where you're on home restrictions right now? I think this is our, well, not like I go anywhere anyway. I mean, I go home, I go to work, and that's about it for most days anyway. So restrictions don't really mean a lot to me. All it's doing is preventing me from nothing, really. But I know I'm not like most people. We've had a lot of people just pop in to get their kits, and they're just saying how it's kind of driving them nuts. And then I know my husband, he's on, yeah, Heidi, are you able to get out and do anything a little bit? Are you just kind of okay with being home and that's just fine? Because I don't mind it. But my husband's laid off for, this is his end of his whole first week of being laid off, and he's going nuts. But he's pretty much home by himself all day because I'm still going to work. I'm still going to the studio. I'm getting the art kits ready. But he's here by himself with the cats, and those poor cats. Yeah, so he's going pretty crazy. He's going bad enough that he's almost about to take up running just so that he can leave the house sometimes. Almost. I won't hold my breath. Jennifer, are you guys able to get out? Or are you just like hanging out at home and you're okay with hanging out? I mean, as long as we get to do stuff like this, right? And you're painting with us too on Monday, right, Jennifer? Monday we have this. This will be a fun one. The blue flowers. That'll be Monday night at 7. Are any of you not in Minnesota and you're like just wanting to go outside and just because you can? Because I totally wouldn't blame you. Yeah, working at home, yeah. Yeah, I worked at home for 7 years. I did web design and worked out of a little office in my basement for 7 years. So I know it's possible. I also know that I'm over the office life and I never want to do that again. I've spent enough years in an office, and and now I'm still working at home. This is my home studio now, so I've moved out of the little office and into the family room. So this used to be the family room. It's now my studio. So that's a much bigger room than I spent that 7 years in. So this is much better. And Jennifer, are you excited to work from home? Is that what you're excited about? I'm hearing a lot of mixed reviews on working from home. There are some people that really like it, and some people that really don't like it at all, and some people that it's kind of life-changing for them. Oh, Harwood, okay. But you still can work in Harwood. Yeah, Harwood, you're still in North Dakota, so you're not totally stuck. Well, we can paint all weekend long. Actually, I am going to be painting all weekend long. And are you having fun painting fun paintings? Are you doing wall painting too? I'm just asking because a whole weekend. And that's what my bored husband is going to be starting to do tomorrow, is wall painting. As long as he's going to be home for a few weeks, he might as well get something done in the house so he can start painting some ceilings and some walls. They need it. Ah, there I did it again. I just dripped water on my painting again. Well, that's what you get for being impatient, Shanna. Oh, that's fine. Just have some trees to put over it. That's it. Oh my gosh, you guys, do you want to do stars? Yeah, excited for the painting. Me too. This is my favorite part. Ugh. But at least you have a guest room that you can work from home in. Some people are just working on their couch with their kids and their dogs and their cats. So yeah, I think for some people that it's kind of a life-changing thing. Oh, Brie, you're using paper towels to dab the stars? That's a great idea. I bet that is working really well. So if you read any part of these crazy instructions that came with your kit about your stars. So if you do any splatter painting, yes, you will make a mess. Everything will be covered in paint. Splatter at your own risk. Couple of methods for painting stars. I'll show you a couple. And I know for some of you, we did the some splatter painting the other day. Just take a little bit of white paint. That was probably a little too much. That's okay. So I'm just taking a little bit of white paint and just mixing some water in. It has to be really liquidy, or it won't work. Otherwise, if you have it too thick, you'll just end up with globs of paint on your canvas that aren't going to dry for a very long time. So you have to do this gently if you're going to splatter paint your house, which seriously, do this at your own risk. I make no promises except that you will make a mess. So I'm just holding my finger over the painting, holding my paintbrush loaded with drippy paint, just gently tapping. And yeah, if you have any electronics nearby, anything that you don't want to get painty, this is not the method for you. Okay, so that's one. Another option, if you have your big bristle brush, I'll just take that out of the water there. I'll soak up some of this drippy paint. Here's another method, also very messy. So I'm just going to hold this, gently hold it. Don't squeeze it too tight or you're just going to drip. And then make it like a toothbrush bristles, and then you can just kind of splatter like this. Just so you can see what I'm doing here. And this is probably the cleanest method, the less messy method. You can kind of control where your splatters go to a point. So that's the other method. Wipe some of this paint off my hands. Okay, and then the last method, which is definitely the safest, you can dot. So just take some of that liquidy white and just add some dots where you want them with the back of your handle. So if you really want to have stars and you really don't want to splatter, there, just add some dots with the back of your handle. That is by far the safest method. So I'll just go ahead and put my brushes back in the water there. Okay. So if we did live paintings like on a Sunday afternoon or a Saturday afternoon, would that be a better time? Because I don't mind the Saturday nights, Monday nights, Thursday nights, whatever. But I'm just wondering what you guys think of afternoons. I've had some requests, mostly to keep the kids busy. But let me know what you think of the weekend afternoons. Right now I'm working, we're open, Creatively Uncorked is open from noon to 4 on Saturdays for picking up art kits right now. So that's what I'm doing Saturdays. Sundays, I'm trying to record as many painting videos as possible to get those online to make sure that your art kits will have video instructions. But if you guys wanted to do a live, I would totally be down for doing a live on an afternoon instead. I know Sunday afternoons are going to work. Saturdays could be iffy. maybe that would be a good time to do the ostrich. Would be like some afternoon, because that can be kind of a kid's painting. It's a little bit more challenging, but that's okay. It's kind of a cute little ostrich. All right, so my big bristle brush, I'm gonna set that aside. Set it aside or just leave it in your water is the safest. And I'm taking my little brush, make sure that one's clean. This is the little filbert brush. If you don't have a filbert, a flat will work, a small round will work. Anything that you can make trees with will work. I like the filbert just because it's, there, you can see it better over here. It's kind of flat and kind of round, so it makes nice little tree shapes. So I'll go back to the black. Didn't AC/DC write a song about that? And if your stars aren't quite dry, we're only going to be painting right down on the bottom. So that's really the only part that matters. All right, so we're going to add some hills into here. Go back to the original reference here for just a moment. So have some hills. You're just going to make kind of a big V sort of. If you want any interesting hills, you just make them a little more interesting shape. However you want to make your hills is just fine. And then just cover the bottom of that black. So you're just basically covering up any extra random splatters that ended up at the bottom of your canvas. All right, very nice. Now we have a mountain, a couple of hills. Hills, mountains, I guess they're probably hills. Okay, so now I want to make my trees. So I'll actually take a little black and just put it down here on my plate. Reason is because I'm going to add some water to it. That way I don't have to add water to all my black. Maybe I want to use that for something else, so I'll just keep it in the pot where it's clean. So I'm just taking a few little drops of water and just adding it to my black paint on my plate, mixing it in. So this time I can kind of pick up paint and flatten my brush at the same time. So the brush should get pretty flat. If we're using used brushes, which I'm sure a lot of us are, some will get flatter than others. So this is good enough. So I'll just draw in some tree trunks. So wherever you want your trees, just hold your brush so your bristles are vertical. Light touch onto the canvas. And we'll just add in some random tree trunks. Keep them random. It's not a tree jail. Some are going to be closer together than others. And that part shouldn't take too long. Just a couple of quick little brush strokes and now you have some tree trunks. And then I'll show you how to get those tree leaves. This is the nice part about that filbert brush. This nice round top that it's got makes some nice tops of trees. So you can see how these trees in here, they'll all have that round shape to them on all the branches. Done with the filbert brush. Nice and easy. Okay, so on your trees. So I'm just leaving the little top of the tree, the little pointy end. I'm holding the brush so that it's, first of all, flat. The bristles are flat, and then it's really tilted. I don't know if you can see how tilted this is, but it's pretty tilted compared to my canvas. And that's to keep the round part up at the top. Okay, so a couple of taps, and you have a branch. A couple of taps, another branch. So you're kind of rotating the brush and kind of tapping at the same time, and then you'll have a tree. Got kind of a little crooked tree over here. We'll sort of do the same thing. Kind of nice. So how Cody P describes it, this is hilarious. I heard him say this to a class one time, and I just thought it was the funniest thing ever. So he says, to make a tree, first you one hit with the paintbrush here, and you have an eyebrow. 2, now you have a mustache. 300, and now you have a tree. So, and that's what the filbert brush is good for. Mustaches, eyebrows, and trees. kind of a fast little painting. So I think we're pretty good about sticking to our timeline of about an hour really with these paintings. In studio paintings we're doing, well, they're typically 2 hours, but we also use bigger canvas and take a couple of breaks. And if you guys have any requests for future paintings that you want to see either as a recorded video or that you want to do as a live, let me know. I have a list that I'm adding paintings to. So when you guys put in a request, I do keep track of it. And I'm working on it. My goal really truly is to get every single one of our paintings online in video format. But that's going to take a while. So when you guys give me suggestions, then that just kind of sets my priority list for me. So I'll know which ones to do first. So I think we'll do the Ostrich as a live coming up here pretty soon. Maybe either on a Thursday in April, which is most likely right now. Or if we do a weekend painting, maybe that would be a good time for it. Because recording videos is fun, but lives are more fun. So I'd rather do the lives. There, I'm kind of dropping in some dead trees in there, here and there. Some little vertical lines. And if you have a very stark line at the bottom of your hill and you want to kind of break that up a little, you can just take a little tiny bit of paint on your brush, just sort of drag that up gently from the bottom, just a little bit, and that'll make it kind of like grass. Kind of like grass growing up from the bottom. Bigger tree in here so it kind of stands out a little more. Looking good. So trees are one of my favorite things to paint, so I can just kind of tree it to death. I'll just keep going and going and keep adding more trees. Just fun though. Pine trees are fun, the branchy trees are fun, just trees are just fun to paint. Okay, so I better put a stop to it. All right, looks like we're looking pretty good. So I'll call this one finished and thank all of you for painting with me tonight. It's so fun. I'm glad you could be here. So the video will be saved here in the Facebook group. So if you ever want to come back to it and watch it later, paint it later, invite your friends. Yeah, just have everybody come and paint with us because it's way more fun that way. So, and if you do want to pick up a kit and paint along with us from the kit, you are absolutely, of course, welcome to. And I thank everybody who does that for supporting us in this very strange time. And if you want to just paint with us and not get a kit, well, here are the videos for you too. So absolutely, thanks for joining us. And you're always welcome to paint with us. Again, I'm adding more and more videos every day. I'll have videos added to our Patreon, so you can check that out. It's patreon.com/creatively uncorked, and you'll find a bunch of videos in there, and I'm adding new ones to that for this week already. So there'll be more and more added to that. We're doing these lives at least a couple times a week, 2-3 times a week. We'll probably do these for a while. We'll see what happens. I don't know when we're going to be able to do studio events again. It sounds like it'll be after Easter at the earliest. So we're kind of postponing everything up until Easter right now. And after that, we'll play it by ear. I've gotten a lot of requests because we've been doing Watercolor Wednesdays at the studio. And so we've got kind of a pretty loyal following for that. And we've had a lot of requests to do those online as well. So the watercolors that's kind of why we added our own category for watercolor there. So we've got the acrylic, and then we've got the watercolor and the crafts. So just to make sure we have something for everybody, and I want to keep it affordable for everybody. So if you wanted to do everything online, you can do the VIP, and still, that's only $24. So it's a really pretty good deal. But thank you. Thank all of you. And I hope you have a wonderful quarantine. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend. And I know there are several of you that I will see again on Monday. So I'm looking forward to painting with you again. And please post your pictures. I can't wait to see them. Till next time.